In the beginning, we are told, a voice spoke out in the endless depths of space to say, "Let there be light." Constantly and always since that day, the visible light which flashes between the stars has been paced by a powerful twin, the unseen glow of radioactivity, produced by the monstrous nuclear furnaces which are those stars. They issue bursting floods of radiation and showers of particles too tiny to be matter as we conceive it. Radiation and particles which flash through all space until they strike other matter. And in their striking, they alter that matter and create still new flares of radioactivity. Dead asteroids, suns, moons, or green planets, all matter in space receives this constant rain of radioactivity. So radioactivity is no new thing on Earth. In addition to the cosmic bombardment, creation planted unstable atoms in the Earth itself. They are in our mountains, in the air we breathe, in our food, and in the cells of our bodies. Relatively rare, but still vast in number, they decay one by one, here and there, in a total of countless myriads, in a barrage of inconceivably tiny and silent explosions. Each explosion is another spark of radioactivity. So all life on Earth has reached its present shape in company with this all-pervading haze of radioactivity. Extremely thin, with extremely low-level intensity, it has always been with us. It is nothing new. That's how it was when nature got along without man's help. What is new, what has made this report necessary, is man's most recent discovery of ways to produce concentrated and powerful radioactivity. A number of people who first refined and worked with the radioactive metal radium suffered injuries before its dangers were even suspected. The discoverers and early workers with X-rays were also injured in a number of cases. However, these were limited, short-range hazards, affecting as a rule only those people doing the actual work. Today, the development of thermonuclear weapons, H-bombs, has enlarged the dimensions of danger. Explosion of such weapons can affect large numbers of people at great distances. Now, there's been considerable public concern and discussion of fallout, particularly worldwide fallout, both from the standpoint of a future war and as a result of past bomb testing. The future is inaccessible, but we can look at the past and estimate its consequences. However, it appears that the estimation is not carried out as easily as it is suggested. There are too many unknowns, too many complex specialties involved for simplicity. Nuclear physics, meteorology, soil science, plant biology, chemistry, biochemistry, statistics, genetics, political science, mathematics, medicine, each of these has important things to say. Scientists from some of the world's most famous institutions have helped with this work. What is surprising is that final disagreements are so relatively small among the experts who speak in their own fields of competence. Their overall evaluations are strikingly similar, though they may have gotten there by different routes. Now, let us examine the nature of nuclear fallout, which starts when atoms of uranium and other bomb materials are fissioned or split to release energy. The leftover fragments of the shattered atoms make up scores of new elements and isotopes that were not there before. Almost all of these fission products are radioactive, some of them violently so. For example, a very small 1 kiloton nuclear explosion creates only about 2 ounces of fission products. However, 1 minute after the shot, these 2 ounces have a radioactivity equal to 100,000 tons of pure radium. Whatever the size of the explosion, the fission products rise high into the air inside the fiery bomb cloud. They constitute the fallout material. How soon they will reach the ground again and where depends on a great many factors. The most important are the power of the explosion and the height above ground at which it occurs. Low altitude bursts, on or close to the ground, will suck into the fireball and vaporize considerable quantities of dirt or sand. Carried aloft in the cloud, this material will cool and condense into particles ranging in size from pinheads down to total invisibility. Most of the fission products will be trapped inside these same...
O God, to thee we raise this prayer and sing. From within these foreign prison walls, we're men who wear the gold and silver wings, and proudly heed our nation's call. Give us strength to withstand all the harm that the hand of our enemy captors can do. To inflict pain and strife and deprive every life of the rights they know well we are due. We pledge unswerving faith and loyalty to our cause, America and the Allies.
German soldiers the Russians have agreed to free. Here's the first bus, ending that long journey from the communist prison camps they've been in since World War II. Signs, eager and emotional crowds of West Germans gather at Camp Friedland on the East German border. They're waiting for the first contingent of some 9,000. Scenes of joyful and tearful reunions are commonplace. Every one of these men has been away for at least 10 years. Some have been imprisoned for 14, but they all have one thing in common now. Their ordeal is done. Russia brought the soldiers home. With power such as the greatest hydroelectric station, contributes to the scientific and propaganda sensation of the year. For it speeds beyond the gravitational pull of the Earth to a height of 560 miles, there to to enter the mysterious realm of space and release a smaller rocket at 18,000 miles an hour, which in turn releases the world's first Earth satellite, the made in the Soviet moon. Circling the Earth like a ball on a string, the 185-pound object defies the imagination, completing a global circuit every 96 minutes. Great observatories, radar devices, telescopes, binoculars, and the naked eye scan the skies. While up there and out on its orbit around the Earth, it is reported sighted in Alaska, Australia, Estonia, and Russia itself. In Russian, the word for satellite is Sputnik, and Sputnik has the voluntary moon watchers working overtime. Conjecture continues as to the information relayed by the space traveler. A Soviet spokesman claims there are no instruments aboard for transmitting scientific data. But busy are communication centers, such as here at Temple City, California, picking up the beep-beep from the satellite's radio equipment. Scratchy signals from a fast-moving sphere, as scientists wonder, too, whether Sputnik is transmitting code. How long the Russian satellite will remain in the limitless void beyond the Earth is anyone's guess. In space, the man-made moon is target for delicate instruments, attempting a plotting of its course. Here at Blossom Point, Maryland, computers are recording the path of the satellite.
In May of 1957, those charged with the United States satellite program determined that small satellite spheres would be launched as test vehicles during 1957 to check the rocketry, instrumentation, and ground stations, and that the first fully instrumented satellite would be launched in March of 1958. The first of these test vehicles is planned to be launched in December of this year.
The next goal for the U.S. as well as Russia seems to be the real moon. Trips by men in spaceships, reaching for the moon, and somehow to return to the Earth.